Fresh like I just got a contract.
It's over.
Kevin. This is me. It's me talking right now. Kevin. I'm sorry, G. I'm sorry, G. Because, hey, speaking of week one reactions, y'all looking like the real deal. So, Kevin, I'm sorry, bro.
How do you feel about Spencer being hurt?
I'm sorry, bro.
Spencer partially tore his ACL, so he's out for the season probably.
If he's out for the season, then the Nets aren't going to win championship.
My thing is this. I actually think that Spencer, first of all, I hope he gets better. Number one, obviously, I hope he gets better. But I think that Spencer being out in some ways can actually help them. I think that too many times when I watched the Nets early on, I feel like they had too many people dribbling. Like, I would be seeing, like, bro, what you doing, G? You have KD and Kyrie. Why are you dribbling? You should be max 2 dribbles past the KD and Kyrie. 2 dribbles past the KD and Kyrie. I think now everybody is more in there. You know who your dribblers are, your scorers are. You know, Timothy. I'm like just call him TLC.
Timothy Lou Cabernet or Cabernet, I believe that's his name.
He's looked resurgent in Denver. Guy. He's looked resurgent in Denver. Karis LeVert, I don't want him starting because he be wilding sometimes, but off the bench, his wilding is great. I know he's not scared of the moment. Chiozo, the little guard they had, he looks incredible. Like, well, at least today, he looked incredible. Landry Shamet, obviously, Landry is not a guy who's going to go out there and give you 20 points, but Landry can play hard. He can, and also, even Doc, we was talking about last year, his gravity, the fact that, like, when he's on the court, you have to at least pay attention to him. And I was on, shout out to Win Daily Show. They actually mentioned this earlier. George Hill is a guy that I would assume will not finish the season in OKC. Maybe that's a guy that now Spencer Dinwiddie is hurt. Maybe the Nets look to pick up a George Hill just for a little bit, veteran, sew up in like that 2-guard spot if you want to, end the games. He can play some defense. Also, he shot like high 40s, I think, from 3 last season. Mm-hmm. I think that would be a great pickup for him. But I actually think that, again, not to say that an injury is good because I want the man to get better. But I just think from like the standpoint of, I don't think you need that many people to dribble, especially when you got KD and Kyrie out there. And I think that this will, in some sense of the word, set people more back in their proper positions. I think that Spencer's a guy who kind of needs the ball offensively to be effective. I don't think he's off ball person personally. So I think that he's a guy who kind of needs the ball to be effective. And I think that they can maybe find can't pronounce his name, but TLC, I think that he's a guy, at least from what it seems like, it's only been about 4 or 5 games, but it seems like he's a guy, he wasn't doing this in Philly, but again, he's a young player, he still has time to develop. He's a guy that I feel like maybe would fit better, in that starting role of being just kind of a 3-and-D guy who could play next to, Kyrie and KD. Also, Joe Harris seems to be great. I think Joe Harris might actually lead the league in 3-point percentage this season or get close to doing so. Jared Allen off the bench has looked great. Like, they have Jeff Green has looked great. They have a very, very deep team. And like I even said before the season, I think that offensively, they, the Mavericks had the number 1 offensive. Well, technically had the best offense ever last season. I think the Nets can either challenge that or even overtake that this season. My only worry for them is still defense. And can they get? I know they can score the points to win the games, but can they get the stops to win the games? That's the only question I have about the Nets. Is can they get the stops to win the game? And even, TP was talking about, KD getting dunked on and things like that. I don't have an issue with him getting dunked on. I hope he gets dunked on 30 times this year, 40 times this year, because to me, that means he is protecting the rim and trying to at least be a presence on defense. And, even the one game KD got hurt, when he actually tore his Achilles, I thought even though he scored 13 points, I thought the best thing that the Warriors missed the most was his defense. I remember in that game, like Siakam wasn't getting those same looks when KD out there being 7 foot standing right in front of you. And again, I think this Nets team having no real quote unquote defensive stoppers, I think that KD needs to take it upon himself to at least attempt to make the all defensive team. Like even you saw on Christmas, like he had Tatum wasn't doing that on Kevin Durant. He kind of had Tatum in a vice grip a little bit. So again, like I don't care about him getting dunked on. I don't care about these things. That's the defense, or that's the level of, I don't want to say rim protection, but I'll say rim protection. Rim protection that I need to see out of Kevin Durant. I just need him to be a guy that just plays big and plays like he actually is 7 feet. So are they the real deal? I would say so. You know, like I say, when you put two players like that on the same team. But again, are they the real deal? I would say so. Are they my championship favorite at this point? No. I'm still gonna go. I'm not gonna try to outsmart myself and go against the grain. I think that clearly the Lakers are the best team in basketball right now. As long as everybody stays healthy. I know they lost tonight, but still, I think they had the best team in basketball.
Yeah, I'm not upset at that. I think that the Nets are the real deal as it pertains to being exactly what I said they would be, which is a second round exit. And I think they'll be a tough second round exit. I'm looking at the Celtics, and I'm looking at them to actually come up a little bit bigger than I think that they are. And we'll talk about them and the Bucks a little bit later because I think they've both been having some early season struggles. But I think part of at least what's going on with the Celtics is I think one guy might be better than another guy and another guy might be not as good as the other guy, but the other guys. So we'll talk about that in a second. But in terms of the Nets, like I told you with KD and Kyrie, that man asking that man for post-ups. So we know who is the alpha, who's not the alpha. I think they're trying to rest guys. I think they're trying to make sure that guys go into the postseason healthy. I mean, obviously, we cover the Clippers. And even I told you, I said today, I said, man, their first half of the schedule is terrible in terms of the competition they play. It's like a very weak schedule for them. So I was like, the second half of the season for them is going to be incredible. So I think these are like the first, 38 games, 36 games, something like that. Yeah, it'll be incredible going into the second, kind of leg of the season. So I think with that being said, I'm looking at a lot of these teams early on that don't have chemistry. And I'm looking for them to develop that chemistry. And I think it sucks that Dinwiddie got hurt because he was a guy that I was looking at that actually was I thought he would sneak in to be an all-star this year and be like that third guy. I thought it would be Karras, but Karras was off the bench. But now I think you have to start Karras.
No, you don't.
And I kind of feel like you do. I think you start him. I really do. I think you need to continue to keep up the offensive pace. I don't want Kevin Durant to have to shoulder the offensive load too heavily. I want him to continue to just do what he wants to what he wants to do. And I feel like if I just put him and Kyrie out there, then it's literally just going to be on them to start the game and get everybody hot. Versus Spencer. Spencer, he wasn't scared to take the ball and go shoot. He wasn't scared to wave them off, call his own play, get himself involved, try to get somebody else involved. He can run a pick and roll. He's decent at attacking. Like, you need somebody like that in the backcourt to play with Kyrie. Kyrie can't be back there by himself. I think even when you look at a guy like JR was a guy that, he could shoot threes, but he was known for dunking on the mother. You know what I mean?
No, he got clean.
You have to have guys, I think, that can consistently still attack the rim, and I don't think that they have any of those guys that are on the bench other than Spencer Dinwiddie. Other than Karis LeVert. So you have to put him there. I honestly thought Dinwiddie was going to come off the bench with LeVert, and you was going to try to figure out some way to work Joe Harris in there. But with the lineups that I've seen them in the rotations that I've seen them have, they seem like they want to, and they prefer to play bigger than they prefer to play smaller. So if that's the way that you want to play it, then keep playing, Karras. I don't think they have any decent options. That's all I'll say.
I personally think that you end the game with Karras, but I don't think that you start the game with Karras. Reason being is also because the way that they're running the lineups, they want to run KD and Kyrie together. I thought that they would always just have one of them in the game, but they seem like they want to run them both together when they're in the game. I don't know.
Too much pressure for them to have to start the game off and be hot. I feel like that's a lot of pressure.
Because
have to start the game off and be hot.
No, because I don't think they have to start the game off. Again, like I look at a guy like TLC. I think he's a guy who, again, like if Kyrie can penetrate, he can hit an open three. Joe Harris has shown the ability to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. Also, the fact that
Cavanaugh is not starting on no championship team, bro.
But again, that's why I said
20 tonight versus the Grizzlies. G, that's not happening again. G.
Again, no. I don't need him to get 20. I need him to more so hit.
Start that man. Start Karras.
I need him to shoot 37% from three and make sure you play good defense. I want Karras off my bench because, again, I want that extra pop coming in off the bench when I send KD and Kyrie to the bench. And also still, again, like I said, I think there's maybe a move that the Nets could make, obviously, now that Dinwiddie is hurt. I don't think that this will be the same roster that goes into the playoffs. I think that they'll eventually somehow try to make a move at some point and get another guard and get some more backcourt help. Like I said, George Hill, a guy. I mean, you mean to tell me, OKC with the way Sam Presti's stocking picks wouldn't take a late first rounder and one of them prospects that they don't play?
What do they need more picks for?
Who, OKC?
Yeah, what they gonna do with that next
to trade? I
think they have all of the pieces that they need. I'm sorry. They just have to figure out the rotation. My bad.
I don't disagree with you. I just think that if they want to do that, they can. But me personally, I'm a component of Karras starting the game on the bench, but ending. He's a guy I'm starting to end the game.
Fresh like I just got a contract. Fresh like I just got a max. Roll up this, we ballin' to the max. Fresh like I got a contract. Moving through the city, we be going.